have a moment of silence to keep all those victims of that tragedy in California in our prayers and our thoughts. Hopefully there's no more violence ever again. Thank you. Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act NJSA 10:4-10 has been complied with and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting.
Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood.
Here.
Freeholder Belante.
Here.
Freeholder Kenny. Freeholder Polos.
Here.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Here.
Freeholder Valenti.
Here.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Here. We have some recognitions.
Yes, we have 3 recognitions tonight. First is recognizing Girl Scout Troop number 80877 on earning the Girl Scout Bronze Award. Next is recognizing Lilith Rebecca Hoover and Abigail Brooks of Metuchen from Girl Scout Troop number 80417. And last is recognizing Mayor Thomas Vahala of the Borough of Metuchen.
Is there a motion to adopt the above resolutions?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Valente, seconded by Freeholder Tamaro. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood.
Yes.
Freeholder Belante.
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny. Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. Freeholder Valente will make the presentation.
Good evening, Freeholder Director. A little while ago I met with a wonderful group of young ladies that are from Girl Scout Troop and in Piscataway, and a number of them received the Girl Scout Bronze Award, in fact 7 of them. As part of the award requirements, Sophia Westberg, Gabriela Robinson, Avi Dahl, Mary Zeminski, Charlotte Odiesi, Elizabeth Tenorio, and Caitlin Toast collected food and donations for the Piscataway Fish Food Pantry and also worked in the Grandview Elementary School Library organizing books. The Bronze Award is a significant achievement, and my fellow freeholders and I want to recognize the girls for their hard work and the contributions they made to their community. I encourage all of the girls to continue on to earn their silver and gold awards. Congratulations to each and every one of you, and of course your parents. So will you please come forward so I can hand you we have a proclamations from the Board of Freeholders. Come on. Congratulations for you. Congratulations.
Why don't you all stay there so this way we can get a group photo.
Congratulations. 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 Wait, one more. Congratulations.
Girls, can you maybe come over this one, maybe? We're gonna have to, yeah, a little closer, please. Freeholder, please stand in the middle. Yeah. In the middle here, maybe. And if you want to get the thought leaders up there as well.
Congratulations, girls. have correspondence.
Each freeholder has been provided with a list of correspondence received by the clerk's office since our last meeting. This correspondence will be kept on file in the office of the clerk of the board for reference.
Is there a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Valente, second by Freeholder Tamaro. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Reports of freeholders. Freeholder Ken Armwood.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. Seasonal traditions for the whole family at Old Town Village. The Middlesex County Office of Culture and Heritage will be holding its annual Season Traditions holiday program at East Jersey Old Town Village in Piscataway. This free program will be held at the village. Maybe I should hold off. It's okay. I figured the Girl Scouts wouldn't want to. I'll take it personally. You know, it's I clear the room when I speak. That's okay. I thought it was me, and I'll take it personally all the way home. Next time you need a fire drill, just let me know. I'll speak. This free program will be held at the village from 1 to 6 p.m. on Sunday, December 13th. Scheduled activities include a children's craft session, horse and carriage rides, Hanukkah and Christmas musical performances, and refreshments. Registration is required for each activity. Please call 732-745-3030, extension 310, to register for any combination of the day's programs. The village will open at 1 p.m. and a guided tour will be given at 1:30 p.m. Text CULTURE to 56512 for mobile access to the arts, history, and virtual tours. 4-H invites you to Breakfast with Santa and his furry and feathered friends. See, they missed this one. They should have stayed. On Saturday, December 5th, 2015, Middlesex County 4-H invites you to enjoy Breakfast with Santa and his furry and feathered friends at the Middlesex County 4-H Center, located at 645 Cranberry Road in East Brunswick. Parents and children are invited to enjoy a pancake breakfast, meet Santa, and meet Santa's furry and feathered friends at our petting zoo. There are 2 seatings for breakfast and activities at 8:30 a.m. and 11 a.m. Admission prices are $8 for adults, $6 for children ages 9 and under, and includes breakfast, 1 picture per family with Santa, petting zoo, and more. Reservations are required for this event. To register, please call the 4-H office at 732-398-5261. Job seekers, please go to www.co.middlesex.nj.us, search hiring events at the Middlesex County One-Stop Career Centers. And that concludes my report for this evening. Thank you, Freeholder Director.
Thank you, Freeholder Armwood. Freeholder Deputy Director Cara Volante.
Thank you, Director. From the Office of the Clerk of the Board, the 2016 reorganization meeting of the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders is scheduled for Wednesday, January 6, 2016 at 6 p.m. It will be at the Middlesex County College Performing Arts Center in Edison. The oaths of office will be administered to newly re-elected officials: County Clerk Elaine Flynn, Freeholders Ronald G. Rios and H. James Polis at this meeting. In addition to the reorganization, the Board will consider any and all business that it deems necessary and appropriate. From the Office of Information Technology, the county is utilizing ASG electronic document management systems to track, manage, and store documents and reduce paper. ASG allows for the capture, validation, indexing, storage, and retrieval of documents, reducing the need to store paper copies. This results in overall savings in paper products, reduces the space needed for storage, it increases the efficiency in document retrieval, and in short, automating this process we are lowering the cost to operate county government and increase the efficiency of our workforce. That is my report for this evening.
Thank you. Freeholder Charlie Kenny.
Nothing tonight, Director. Thank you.
Thank you. Freeholder H. James Polos.
Thank you, Director. Just two quick items. This past week we had a meeting with representatives from 16 communities to introduce our newly renovated county radio system with the improvements that have been supported by the Freeholder Board in this past 18 months. We've created a radio system now that is a robust system that is providing great redundancy and capabilities, not only for our own county needs, but it does have the capability to be able to provide radio service to our municipalities, police, fire, local EMS, etc. So we met with our local officials to advise them of the fact that the system now is essentially up and ready to go, so that they have an alternative to look at in the event that they're upgrading their radio system within their community or looking to make some type of a change. They could consider coming onto the county radio system at a substantially less cost than it would be to do it on their own. Those numbers have not yet been decided what the costs are actually going to be, but we certainly know it would be less than what it would cost if they did it as a municipality. So again, here the county is trying to work in a shared service way with our communities to provide enhanced services for our emergency service responders. Last but not least, the Director mentioned about a moment of silence for the tragedy that occurred. In the face of several issues that have happened, not only this issue that happened in California, but the Bataclan issue, whether it's terrorism, whether this issue, and I haven't seen the news today if any determination has been made whether it was terrorism or just deranged individuals that participated. The fact is that we should make sure that we follow a very simple thought, and that is that when you see something, say something. The local police departments, state, federal officials, our emergency responders need community support. They need us to be aware of our surroundings. They need us as residents of our communities to be aware of what is going on. And when we see something that doesn't seem right, and we would know that in many instances even before police would know, because we live in our neighborhoods. You see a vehicle that doesn't seem appropriate, that seems odd, an individual that is doing something that may not seem normal, obviously a box, a package, something unattended. We ask you to please make sure that you step up to the plate, make the call to the local police department. Even if it's nothing, it's better that it be investigated properly, and would respect the fact that you make the call even if it turns out to be nothing important. They want our participation. It's important that residents become, once again, the eyes and ears for our local police, much like we did after the September 11th attack. I think everyone was in a mode post that tragedy of being very aware of surroundings and very conscious of what was going on. We may have been lulled a little bit because things have been thankfully peaceful over these last several years within our surroundings, but when we see situations that happen like the one that happened in California, we should take that as an opportunity to make sure that we stay aware and report. Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Freeholder Polos. Freeholder Charlie Tamaro.
Thank you, Director, and good evening, everybody. And I want to remind everyone that Plays in the Park will once again present the annual holiday production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat at the State Theater in New Brunswick. There will be 4 performances, Saturday, December 26th at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m., and Sunday, December 27th, also at 2 and 7 p.m. Tickets are now available, and as always, we sell out quickly. Stop by the box office on Livingston Avenue or call the ticket line at 732-246-7469 to get your reserved seats. At $7 per person, it is an affordable family outing. I would highly recommend seeing this magical musical, and if you haven't already, now is the time to start your own holiday tradition with Joseph. And despite the mild weather as of late, I'm happy to announce that the Roosevelt Family Skating Rink just opened in time for the Thanksgiving holiday. Stop by and check out the county website for this information about skating sessions, party options, and lessons, as well as the hours of operation, holiday hours, and inclement weather hotline. I must say, it's a great facility and very well used. I remember when I was growing up, I always had to wait for the green ball to be raised at Roosevelt Park, Roosevelt Lake, in order to skate on that. So it's a great night out and great family night, so enjoy it. Also, the lighting system at the new tennis courts at Roosevelt Park are now up and running. For those who like winter weather, the tennis courts at both Roosevelt Park and Edison Park are available for nighttime play without a permit as conditions allow. With our new push-button lighting system, lights can be activated by players, and the timer permits up to 50 minutes of lighted playtime with 5-minute lights out warning. We are pleased to offer this option, and as always, we are trying to update Middlesex County parks for optimal use during the entire year. Finally, thank you to the Conservation Corps and their diligent efforts to organize many volunteer efforts to maintain our open space areas. As a result of their hard work creating trails and exploring nature, we have received growing numbers of bird sightings, including winter birds such as the white-throated sparrow and the pileated woodpecker, or woody-the woodpecker. The Conservation Corps will be ready to enlist another group of volunteers in the spring of 2016. If anyone you know is interested, please contact the Parks Office at 732-745-3064 or visit the Parks website for volunteer information. And I also want to thank everyone who helped out and donated to the Hands of Hope Food Pantry and Edison on 2136 Woodbridge Avenue. The Saturday before Thanksgiving, we handed out 400 turkeys, and now there's 400 families that were able to enjoy. Matter of fact, Rick Blair, I made him over there, and he donated a turkey, and as soon as he donated, it went out the door. So I want to thank everybody who came and helped, and it was a successful day for our clients, and now we're looking towards Christmas and, of course, the holiday season when we give out turkeys again, Saturday before Christmas. Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Freeholder Tamaro. Freeholder Blanquita Valenti.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. From the Department of Community Services, the Partial Care Program at the county's George J. Adalowski Senior Center for Mental Health Care held its annual Thanksgiving Day celebration on November the 20th, 2015. Program members and staff prepared for the event weeks in advance to create a festive turkey dinner with all the trimmings. Groups from the Partial Care Program participated by preparing food, setting up the room, decorating, and serving. Especially fun this year were new activities held throughout the day, including a turkey trot walk, crafts and gift baskets with themes of personal care, arts and crafts, games, and food. After the delicious meal, program members and staff reflected on the past year and shared the things they are most thankful for. This is always a very touching segment, and it's beautiful to hear the members, many of whom find public speaking a challenge, to share the importance of the Partial Care Program in their lives. And that's my report, Freeholder Director.
Thank you, Freeholder Valenti. Okay, Mr. Kelso, any resolutions to be added?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be amended?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be held?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be voided?
There are none.
This time I'd like to open up the meeting to the public on any resolutions listed. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. My name is Charles Cradaville. I'm from New Brunswick. I'm also the editor of a newspaper called New Brunswick Today. I'll jump right to the one I want to talk about here is 15-2101-R. So I'd like to know what's going on with the building at 40 Livingston Avenue and what the county is doing with their lease there. But I'd also first like to ask, I see 3 officials there and I guess another 9 or 10 here. Is anybody here a member of the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks?
I am.
Yes. And Ms. Hartwick, anyone else?
A member in Edison.
Different Elks Lodge. Different Elks Lodge. Okay. So yeah, what's going on with the building? Is the county still leasing it or not?
Yes. We're on a month-to-month lease. We have moved the resources to the 5th floor here in this building, the planning board. However, we still have both files and data still sitting in the building that we're going through. Of course, through the automation process, we'll be scanning a lot of that document. Our plan is to be out sometime mid-year in total.
So the lease is going to be extended on a month-to-month basis
until we finish all of our administrative work that needs to be done.
So there's still files there, but no work being done besides
That's
the
correct.
files.
So we're going through, there's a lot of documentation that we're going through, scanning and automating.
Okay, and why is the county leaving the Elks building at all in the first place?
Well, one of the efforts that, from a strategic planning standpoint, is it was critical to bring both the planning office and the engineering office together under one roof because of the close work they do on a regular basis. And by having them in two separate locations, from an efficiency standpoint, wasn't practical. So that as we do business both with the commercial and general public, single spot they can come to address any issues from both planning and engineering.
Okay, so that's planning and engineering. And engineering used to be Townsend Street.
Engineering used to be, I don't know if it's Townsend, it's the, yeah, we're out of that building, and that's...
And now they're both on the 5th floor.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. So, just to be clear, this has nothing to do with the treasurer of the Elks Lodge being arrested for distribution of cocaine?
This is for
No.
efficiencies for within county government.
Okay, and how...
This was planned probably in the beginning of 2015 as part of our consolidation. And by the way, the other thing it does long-term is by bringing our workforce into this building, reduces our cost for rental property. So there's a savings there as well.
Okay, was there anything that used to be on the 5th floor? What are they replacing?
No, the 5th floor, we consolidated the health services, and we moved that out to our 35 Kennedy Boulevard location.
Okay, health services is moving out, and the other two are moving in.
That is correct.
Okay, and I guess the only other question is, does anybody know how long we have been leasing from the Elks, the county?
I don't know offhand. We can provide it to you, but I don't have it offhand. I don't know, Joe. No. But we can get you that information if you like.
Okay, yeah, it's been a while. And then the other one I want to ask about, the one right before that, 2100, is a lease agreement with the parking authority. Can you just outline for me what the total arrangement is with the parking authority? How many different decks are you leasing in, and what's going to happen with the Wolfson deck that you bought from the parking authority?
I don't think Carl is here. The on 2100, it's not by deck, it's really spots, and it's 220 access cards for our employees. So we base it on spaces, not necessarily floors.
Okay, but so is this the only agreement you have with the parking authority, or are there other decks that you're also leasing at, is my question?
Well, we obviously we lease space also at the
Wellness
deck, and I believe those are the two primary locations. There may be some smaller satellite locations as well, but we can get you that list as well.
Okay, and also you own the Wolfson deck now. What's the plan for that? Is it going to be demolished this 2016, or are you going to keep operating it?
I can answer that. There's actually a minimal amount of parking that's still done, I believe, on the weekends. The specifications for the demolition are being finalized through the engineering office to coordinate the demolition. Should, I believe, occur after the bids go out. It'd be in the beginning, probably by the spring of 2016.
Okay, so within a few months, 4 or 5
Yeah.
months. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else in the public?
Move to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion to close by Fielder Tamaro, second by Fielder Valente. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, is there anyone that has any separate agenda items to vote separately? No? Okay, Mr. Kelso?
Yes, Fielder Director, a motion would then be in order to adopt the consent agenda consisting of resolution numbers 15-2057 through 15-2125.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Fielder Valente, second by Fielder Tamaro. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood?
Yes.
Freeholder Belmonte?
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny?
Yes.
Freeholder Polos?
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios?
Yes. At this time, I'd like to open up the meeting to the public on anything that anyone would like to ask questions, comments. State your name for the record and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Good evening once again. Charles Cradaville, New Brunswick. I'm the editor of New Brunswick Today. I got to start by saying I was a little concerned that the access to the building is now locked. You might be in violation of the Open Public Meetings Act because you have to ring a buzzer to get into this building now, and I don't know that this is in compliance with disabilities laws and things like that. The buzzer's pretty high up, and it just doesn't seem like an open public meeting to me. I also have to admit I'm concerned that Freeholder Barrett Belante did not abstain from a resolution where she is a member of the Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks, and she's approving a lease with that organization. I'm pretty sure that amounts to an ethics violation. So after I'm done, I give her a chance to change her vote because that doesn't seem right. But I also have to bring up some other issues, and I know that I only have 5 minutes, so I'm just going to say what's on my mind, and if you disagree with it or if you think it's not true, you can please refute it. But I want to ask about Scott Campion, is an employee who was also involved in those same arrests with the Chief Housing Inspector in New Brunswick, who was also the treasurer of the Elks Lodge, and he was arrested and charged with distributing cocaine. Somebody else who was charged in that case is Scott Campion. He was a sheriff's office dispatcher, and actually he was a former officer. He was a sheriff's officer until on one night at the Fox and the Hound in Edison, he was apparently intoxicated and pointed his weapon at a server at this restaurant, and then was arrested and had to resign his job. But good old Sheriff Joe Spicuzzo, convicted criminal who was our sheriff for 30 years, he gave him a job as a dispatcher even after that happened, and now he is, I believe, suspended, but maybe you can update me if he's been fired or if he's still suspended without pay for the most recent arrest, the one that was now almost 2 years ago. Also, I need to know about, is it true that Sheriff Scott has hired 4 civilian personnel to monitor the surveillance cameras in the courthouse, and that those hires include the son of the undersheriff and the son of an internal affairs officer, and also siblings of another employee and another officer? What do you have to say to these allegations? Are these 4 people working for the sheriff's department? Is Mr. Campion working for the sheriff's department?
Campion no longer works for the town of Middlesex, and the undersheriff's son was not hired for that position.
Undersheriff's son was not hired, but you have created new positions at the sheriff's office.
We are realigning the workforce at the sheriff's office to make sure we put law enforcement in the courthouse where they're required, and we're utilizing civilians to do those things that I believe are appropriate.
And how many positions have you created?
We have not created, we are
Okay.
realigning. There were vacant positions within the sheriff's offices, and we realigned the offices into those vacant positions, so there's no addition to staff at this point.
Okay, and as for Mr. Campion, how is that possible for someone to lose their job as a police officer and then be rehired by the same department?
As I said, the individual no longer works for the county.
And can you tell me when why they no longer were they fired? Did they quit?
There was a suspension and termination that was appealed. After the appeal process proceeded for a number of months, there was an agreement that provided for his resignation, and he has resigned.
And do you know the effective date? Was it this month, last month?
I don't recall.
Okay. Was it this year, I guess?
I think the effective date was retroactive to the suspension period, I believe.
I understand, but this all was resolved within the past year, in 2015?
Within the past year, yes.
Okay. That is all I have, except I have to reiterate one question from the last time I spoke. The warden has been very good to meet with me and agree to meet with me about questions, but there is one question that is a question not for him but for you, and it's the question of why the county is literally stealing from the inmates. This is the million-dollar question. Why is Middlesex County have a policy where every inmate is a victim of theft? Every inmate is robbed of $100 when they go into the facility. If they have, I had $114, I came out with $14, and that's actually supposed to be how it is because of not a choice of the warden, but a choice of the Freeholder Board. And I would like the Freeholder Board to explain to me why you've endorsed that policy, because I quite frankly asked the warden about it, and he respectfully punted, and he said that is an issue for the Freeholder Board. The Freeholder Board made that choice.
I'll answer your question very simple. The Freeholder Board does not steal any money from anyone. Simple. Your time is up. Thank you. Anyone else from the public that would like to make any comments?
I move to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion to close by Freeholder Tamaro, second by Freeholder Valente. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Valente, second by Freeholder Tamaro. All in favor?